Hello everybody. I am recording this on the Tuesday before the Friday of the full launch of Vendetta, and now that we've had all of our hands on at least the digital versions of the cards for a little bit, we can start to theorycraft and think about what we're going to do. I wanted to talk about the deck that I'm going to be playing the entirety of this set and probably next set, Akali. And this is the deck that I will be taking with me to to LA, to do another run like I did at Vancouver with Ivern to try to get the best of for Akali. This is going to be much harder to do because Akali is going to be a very popular legend. A lot of people are doom and glooming this deck right now because it's conditional. It's not just generically good. It's going to take a lot of tech and a lot of practice to get this deck running as optimally as I think that it can run. And I think this deck can be one of the scariest decks in the format if you can get away with doing certain things. So we're going to talk about that really quickly, and we're going to go ahead and jump into 6 deck lists that you can try out at your locals this coming week to see if Akali is the right deck for you. First up, I just wanted to quickly cover the most viewed deck list on Piltover Archive, go over my thoughts on it, because I do have some thoughts. Firstly, we're going to talk about the battlefields. I think Back Alley Bar is going to be a really good blind for Akali until we come up with more tech for the deck. I think it's fine. Nothing there. Treasure Hoard, I don't think you need it. I don't think it's needed in the deck. I think Star Spring is a great addition. And if we look at the rest of the deck here, we have a pretty good suite. The thing that confuses me on this person's deck list is we have Guardian Angel and 2 Zanyas. We have 2 Ferris Forerunners, 3 Jins, 3 Stellacorns, and 3 Kaisas. We're kind of okay losing any of those units. We're not really that sad if we lose them. And I don't really see why we have the protection in the deck. I'm going to be completely honest. I might be wrong. Maybe we just saved the green Akali, and that's all it's there for. Twilight Reveler, I've gone back and forth on this card a lot. I think the card is good in certain circumstances. I think it's also really bad in certain circumstances. I think in Akali you get away with it because you can move it in, tap Akali, move him back, and then you get the attack trigger to ready something else. I don't think it's bad. I think Ferris Forerunner is going to be a linchpin in the deck. This is our only way of actually holding on to a battlefield, as well as some other things as we'll talk about as we go through the video here. Against the odds, against token decks, that makes sense, but I don't think you need pump spells in this deck. We already have Pendulum Blade. We already have access to things like Mask of Foresight. You know, a little bit of a spoiler there, but I don't think we need it. Thermal Beam, we'll have to see. The sideboard pieces, we'll have to see how the meta shakes out. If there is a lot of gear heavy decks like Azir where they just go wide, Thermal Beam is going to be good. But other than that, I think Brittle Steel and Disarming Rake are just going to be better. And Bryn here to stop the infinite combo decks makes sense. Next up, I wanted to cover some deck lists from people in the community that you might recognize. Number 1, Silent Knight. If you haven't seen him, go check him out on YouTube. Great channel. Great dude, great channel. This was the deck list that him and his team put together. This is running Red Akali as the Chosen Champion, Risen Altar, Seed of Power, Sound Warrens. Yeah, I got no problems with that. The only thing that I will say is that Risen Altar, our opponents are going to get more out of it because in this deck list, we only have 1 unit that can be empowered. So, a little bit questionable on that one, but it is what it is. It is a good starting point. And everything else is just 3 Shuriken flips. Maybe I would run 2 because of the flow on them, but the flow is really expensive, so having it for 1 and a power cost reliably is pretty good. I do like the inclusion of Resonating Strike and Longsword. I think Resonating Strike is going to be our way of holding if we don't have Ferris Forerunner. And running the Dariuses, I think, is terrifying. This is another deck list that's running Red Jin. You'll see Red Jin pop up a lot. Whenever you move, add a power and a energy. I want to like this card. I really, really want to like this card in this deck because there is so much movement. We'll just have to see. We will really have to see. I'm not sure. I'm not sold on Red Jin yet. I'm just not. I think it's an okay card, but it's definitely a win more tech card, if that makes sense. I like the Infernas, I like the Mournful Witnesses, the Scuttle Crabs for early draw. Red Rengar is something that I think is pretty good in this deck. It just leans more heavily into our game plan of attacking into battlefields, getting ambush triggers, and then moving a weaker unit back and just leaving the big unit there. You know, it's, as an example, you could move Mournful Witness in, play Rengar, tap, move Mournful Witness back. Rengar's probably going to die on that turn, the next turn for the clapback, but now you have a 4 might unit that you can just play with a longsword, with an Inferno, with On Guard, with Cleave, Discipline, whatever. And I think it's pretty good. Next up, I want to go over Sam Sherman's list. This is his testing list from different deck things and whatnot. He's running back Akali Bar. I think it's a great blind battlefield for Akali. Threshold of the Gray. Interesting battlefield. We'll have to see how this one shakes out because you're going to be getting in multiple things, and giving your opponents more energy is always scary, especially if you're attacking. So we'll have to see on that one. And then Void Gate is just clever. I like Void Gate and Akali because we're running things like Falling Star, like the Red Akali, like Shuriken Flip, that you're going to get a lot of value out of it. So this is just a very aggro list, which is something that I would expect to see from Sam. You've got 3 Steel Paws, which are good in the early game. You don't mind seeing them late game because you can empower them and give them +7, and then you have a 7 might deflect for 8 energy. It's expensive, but it's pretty good. And overall, I like this list. This is, if you're looking to play an aggro Akali list, this is what I would look at. You've got 3 Mask of Foresights, which you can swap out for Pendulum Blades or Helm of Suppression if you really want to. I think this card is underrated. This card is nasty. It's just disgusting in terms of playing a tempo play to just completely screw over your opponents. Especially into a meta where there's a lot of blue-purple decks at the very top. Yeah, this is just purple Vex, but blanket on everything. It's disgusting. It's absolutely just gross. I'm a huge believer in Twilight Shroud as a 1-of in a deck. Giving things hexproof is always good. So this is an aggro list with a lot of protection, a lot of scary things, a lot of tools in it. I like this list. List I like a little bit better, Coco Lopez's list. So this is running Sunken Temple, Targon's Peak, Abandoned Hall, which is fascinating to me. Abandoned Hall makes sense because we are running in this deck a lot of spells, more spells than in the list that we've seen before. Targon's Peak, holding up mana for interactions later on our opponent's turn, makes sense, especially if we're running things like Emperor's Divide, Discipline, On Guard, Defy, not Falling Star, but Longsword. Targon's Peak makes sense. That 2 energy breakpoint is really important. And Sunken Temple for card draw. Our things are going to be more than 5 might. They just are. Double Green Akali, I think, is good. I think Green Akali is going to be the unit to play. I don't really see Red Akali making much use. I'm going to be honest. It's okay. Doing 1 damage to something at a battlefield is okay. Doing 2 damage to something at a battlefield is decent. But it's not a great breakpoint for the card. I think having a 3 power or 3 energy, no power unit in the champ zone is very strong. I don't know. We'll have to see how things shake out once I get my hands on paper. It's really hard for me to do online testing because my brain just doesn't function that way. So I think 2 Shuriken Flips is correct. I do like the 3 Emperor's Divides. I'm a huge believer in this card. I played it a lot in Ivern, and I was poo-pooed for it for the entirety of Unleashed. I think Emperor's Divide is a crazy card. I think this is one of the best green cards. It's flash in green that's hidden. It's very good. Lonely Poro is interesting. I think it makes sense. Get the card draw early. You don't mind if it dies. You can push 2 things up onto a battlefield, pull Mournful Witness back, and leave Lonely Poro there. And then Mournful Witness gets the, plus or whatever. I think it makes sense. 3 red Kaisas. Sam loves his red Kaisa. I can't really blame him. The card is insane. A 4 for 4 or 5 in a power for an accelerate, draw a card. It's just good. 2 falling stars, 1 in main, 1 sideboard. I think you'll never ever run 3 in your deck. It's just too power hungry. And also, you'll notice no Djinns. This is a very low to the ground list. You're running the 2 Akalis, you're running the Stellacorns, the Kaisas, the 1 Ferris, 1 back off, which I think this card is going to be very sneaky in this deck. I think it's a nice hidden mix-up with Emperor's Divide or back off. And then Pendulum Blade is just crazy. Pendulum Blade is crazy in this deck. I didn't actually see his sideboard, which I like the double thwonk. I think Crumbling Sands is very good. Trixie Tentacles, I'm unsure on. We'll have to see, but it does kind of make sense because you play this, you pull all their units into the battlefields, and then you just kill them all. I think it's a clever deck list. There's a lot of tech here and a lot of things to cover. Lastly, this is from the, well, not lastly, second to last of the main decks that I wanted to cover. This is from my community. This is from the Akali mains Discord that I put together, and I'll leave a link to it down below. We'll go through it really quickly at the end of the video. But this is a Akali list that was put together from somebody in the Discord that I wanted to shout out because while there's a couple things I don't like I don't like Noxus Hopeful and Akali, it's a good unit. It's almost always a 2 energy for 4 might, which is good value, but it's fighting for other cards that get more value. So I had it in early deck lists because it's just a generically good red card. I would rather just see 3 Kaisas here, or maybe 2 Kaisas and a Djinn or something like that. The one thing that I love about this deck list, Mischievous Mirai. This is a card I forgot about. When you play me to a battlefield, deal 2 to an enemy unit here, and you can play it for hidden. It's a 2-drop that you don't mind seeing early on because it's a 2 for 2. Oh well. But if you see it later on in the game, you have now a hidden mix-up between Mischievous Mirai and Emperor's Divide. I think it's a great addition to the deck. It's very clever. It's very fun. I think it's super smart. I love it. It's a defensive Inferna. Yeah. And then the sideboard, I don't think anybody has their sideboard. It's locked in, but I think this is super clever with the Mischievous Mirai in here, and that's something to be looking at for Akali's meta moving forward. Lastly, this is my list. This is the deck list that I put together and I've been thinking about and iterating on for a while, and I just updated it before I hit record. You can see 21 minutes ago. But I'm running Starspring, Seed of Power, Back Alley Bar. This is subject to change. This would be blind. This would be on the draw. This would be on the play. Yeah. So the whole idea with this is with Starspring, you have so many units. It's really easy with the movement to move back and forth and have pseudo ganking. It's also just really easy to then completely bail yourself out of a bad combat with the Akali Legend and Starspring. So there's a lot of options there, and you'll notice this is a more mid-range heavy list. So we have the 3 Inferna. I think Inferna is nuts. I played it a lot during Army Pike, and Inferna gets so much value. It is a 2-drop that is a 3-might attacker. You can think of it like a pump spell, essentially. So you get a Mask of Foresight trigger on your Mournful Witness. When you move them in, you play Inferna, you move Mournful Witness back, Mournful Witness survives, and now it's a 4-drop. Like that. Kind of crazy. You've heard me talk about it before. I think 2 Shuriken Flips is correct, just personally. Cleave, I went for Cleave over Blood Rush because Blood Rush, while it's great, it's action speed, it's not reaction speed, so you can bait out more things with Cleave. Blood Rush might be technically correct. We'll have to see. I hinted to it earlier. 2 Falling Stars. I don't think you'll ever run 3. The Rengars, the Kaisas, Resonating Strikes, Darius's, and then the one Ferris. And the sideboard for me is a little bit more locked in. I have, again, you'll notice no red Akali. I'm not a red Akali believer. It could prove me wrong. I could be totally off the mark on this. I just don't believe in red Akali right now. I could eat those words later on. We'll have to see. But Twilight Shroud is, I'm a big believer in this card as a one of. Double Charms because we're running into battlefields, we're getting super big, and then this is our removal spell instead of Falling Star. Crumbling Sands, stopping combos, stopping Infinite Lux, stopping Infinite Jin, that kind of thing. Brittle Steels, I like this card because you get 2 for 1. Yeah, the double power cost is rough, but you get to kill potentially 2 gears. And even if he gets Mind Splittered, it gets around that. It's a good card. I think it's fine. If you're running a red deck, I think at least one Bryn here in the sideboard is almost mandatory at this point. This shuts down so many decks that want to play defense, and I think it's really important. Ferris Foreigner for the hold, and another green Akali if we feel like we need to run 2 instead of another Renkar. Again, all of this is subject to change. This is just where my current thought process is at. You'll notice I am a big fan of 2 drops, or two of a card. I am a big nerd and a big math person. 3 of a kind of a card, it has to be the best card in the deck for me to include it as a 3 of that card. It has to be the card that I need to see every single time I sit down to play the deck. 2 of? Like, I need to see multiple of that card every single time I play this deck. 2 of is, this is a really good card and an important piece of the deck, and I would love to see at least one of them. And then 1 of is, it's a nice tech card. If I see it, it's nice. If I see it, I see it. That's where my thought process is with deck building. Huge nerd on all of this. A lot of decks you'll see just run 3 of 3 of 3 of 3 of 3 of. I don't think that's correct personally in my deck building philosophy. Again, I could be wrong. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right with me. But that is where we're at with the main decks I wanted to cover in this list. And as a special little bonus, we are going to hop into the Akali Discord really quick. I just wanted to show you this because this has been a little bit of a passion project on the side that I want to put together. There are almost 100 people in this Discord now putting together as good of a list of Akali as we possibly can. And there are some very notable deck builders in this Discord. I'm not going to shout them out because I don't want to, put any pressure on them, but I was very happy to see that they decided to come and join the madness. But quick shout out to Link. I can't think of his name right now because it's shortened, but L. Quick shout out to L and Estoy because these two have been very, very active in the Discord and helping people learn Akali, which is super cool. And just wanted to give them a quick shout out. The last deck list that I wanted to do a quick covering on was the Nova 2K list that took 16th, I believe, 15th at the recent 2K tournament. This was a deck list that he said he only tested it once before running it, and he got 16th in a $2,000 tournament, which I think is very notable. It shows how good the deck can run and can be, even if you don't have the reps on it. Looking at this deck list, again, we see Green Akali. One thing that he said is that he would swap out Vilemaw for Back Off, which I agree. I think that's just good. This is an Aurelia list. By an Aurelia list just means running Green Aurelia. This is a linchpin in the deck if you are running it, because you get multiple combats, multiple triggers. Aurelia gets super big. It doesn't quite get as big as it would in just a standard Aurelia deck, but it's not uncommon for Aurelia to hit 13, 14, 15 might by herself in this deck, from my experience. We've talked about the Ferris Forerunners, we've talked about the Emperor's Divides, the Brittle Steels, Not So Fast, Thermal Beams. It's just different variations and different combos and different proportions. And that's kind of the main thing that I've noticed with Akali. So far, we have kind of come to the same conclusions of what cards we want to run in this deck. It's just getting the proportions fine-tuned. And if you want to be a part of that process, I will leave a link for this Discord in the description box, and you can come in and check out the deck list that we have. I do everything that I can with my connections within different Riftbound circles to get my hands on as many high-level deck lists as well as many private deck lists as I possibly can to share them with the closed community. And I know that sounds really funny to say out loud of like, oh, I'm grabbing private deck lists, but it's like just sharing as much information as I possibly can. I want to push Akali's meta further and faster than the other legends because I truly believe in this deck. We just have to solve the deck before other people do. And before other people solve Kennen, before other people solve the new Diana. I don't think that's going to happen personally, but we can get pretty close. Yeah, this was just a super quick off the cuff video. I will be playing Akali and doing first impressions and first thoughts very soon as I get my hands on the paper cards. Yeah, because like I said, online testing for me it's not great. The online testing just kind of feels useless in terms of pairing up with people that are very new to the game or just aren't interested in playing and practicing. But yeah. Lastly, if you do want to see me open up 2 boxes, at least, of Vendetta to try to search and hunt for the signature Akali Overnumber Legend, you can do that by tuning in to the Twitch Flying Walrus Man, or twitch.tv/Flying Walrus Man this Friday. We will be going live, opening up 2 boxes at least. Like I said, it kind of depends on what I can get my hands on and what I can reasonably do. But that'll be a fun time. We'll talk more about the Akali deck, where we're at, what we're thinking, and theorycraft a little bit more on stream as we go. Hopefully this was helpful of giving you guys an idea of where you want to start with Akali, because I think this deck is going to be super fun. I think it's going to be super unique and super interesting, and I want to see as many people playing this deck as possible. And if you are interested in playing this legend, hopefully this video gave you a good starting point of what cards to be looking for, what cards to be buying, and what ways in which this deck list can work. Hopefully this was informative, and I hope you enjoyed.